Oh, so we can use it for other people.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because things have updated since the last time I recorded.
Yeah, where do we keep all these recordings?
They're on YouTube. So I actually put that in the trash, so I'm going to go grab it from the trash. Silly of me. So weird. Yeah, one of the nice things is when you trash things, it doesn't actually get rid of it. It's just in the trash. So here's our duplicated article here, right? And you're just gonna, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Quick Edit, or you can go to Quick Edit or Edit. But in this case, I think we wanna go to start with Quick Edit, and you're gonna fix the title. So we're gonna take out the duplicated. Let's say this is going to be in volume 30 or edition 34. So you're going to change this to 34. This is not a hyphen. This is an M dash. So, so you're going to leave that there, and then you're going to add the title. So we'll just say a title of new article. Since this is in edition 34, you're going to come over here. You see where it says 27 post in the tags? You're going to change that tag to 34 post, because this is used in a query by the by WordPress in this thing. It's like a blog tool, and the blog tool does a query and it pulls everything that says 34 post and displays it for the edition 34 page. So if you notice now, when you go and look at the journal online, if you go to volume 24, you'll see the articles there associated with edition 34 or 24, and it's pulling articles that say 24 post. So this is integral. The other thing is you want to fix the tags. So that other article we just we're going to be writing over was about COVID hotspots, and you'll see like all these different tags associated with COVID-19 in the US and hotspots. We want to get rid of those. So you want to like, so, and then this is like new article, you know, our different sort of tags. We're going to keep like the Harvard PHR, health, public health, all of those types of posts or tags associated with it right here. And there'll probably be a lot more. It's just that this is a fake article.
Okay.
The other thing we want to check here is our categories. When you scroll down, you're going to want to keep it with a journal. You want to keep it with edition. However, you're not going to want to keep it with edition 27 because it's not there. You want to add it to edition 34. You'll notice we don't have that one yet. So we're going to create that next. The other thing you're going to want to do is publish it. Now, this is not normally something you would do, but because the website is in beta stage, you know, we're a little more tolerant right now with maybe things not being 100% when it's visible on the site. Because, you know, folks kind of are more understanding. So with that, the other thing you want to check is your template. Never default or canvas or the theme. You want to hit Elementor full width. Otherwise, it's going to look super odd. So with that, you are ready to go. One last thing, the slug. Slug is very important here. So the slug is going to be the edition number hyphen article. It's the word article. It's not anything else. It's not the title. It's not the, it's just the word article, because you're differentiating what it is to the reader. It's just that it's an article as opposed to a blog. So it's 34 article, and then the author's name, the last name. So this is, so that makes for a very clean slug. Otherwise, it defaults to the entire name of the article. It'll be like 40 words long. We do not want that. So
like 34 article Masterson, like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. So if you were the author of the article.
Yeah.
So, and then we're going to hit update. Okay. And then you can see here is your article. All right.
Woo.
So the next thing you're going to hit is edit. And so you check here, it's looking pretty good. And you're going to go over to this right-hand side. You're going to make sure the visibility is public. We're going to be doing an immediate publish. Sometimes you can go here and actually select to publish in the future, or even weirdly publish in the past. That really impacts like how the post is displayed relative to other posts. If you, let's say you did something bizarre and like said it was published like last year before the site even existed, it'll appear first, you know, always be the first blog. So, and as opposed, and if you set it for later, it won't appear at all until the date that it quote unquote publishes. So you hear the permalink is you have your slug here. You can see what the link is going to be because we're the harvardpublichealthreview.org, and there's the full address. This is where, in this case, this is kind of interesting. There's no edition 34 yet, right? So we have to add it.
Oh, wow.
So you're, this is pretty special. I'm going to go through and eventually change these so they're not this weird all caps thing happening. I don't know why the developer did that, but they did, you know. But this is going to be maternal and child health. So I guess we can get away with it just by doing that. The parent category of this is edition. So we're fixing it there. We're adding it. And it'll probably appear right at the top, and you can see that it's been selected and it appears under edition because it's part of it. You can check the tag situation again and make sure that it's 34 posts. And then this is an interesting situation. You see this little image here? This is the image that appears on the website when you go and visit. Oops, I won't do that there. I'm just showing all the viewers at home. When you go and visit, this is the featured image for the particular article. And we get these from, you know, online as long as you do an attribution, as well as from our Envato Elements library. And in the document, that working document link that I showed you, that is where you can get the credentials for that. We also have it through Canva, and those credentials are also in the document. You can get different images. So let's say whoops, I don't know what happened there. Let's say you want to add your featured image. We're going to pretend that we already have it, but you could do a Google search and just pick it out. We're going to go back here and upload our image. So
and my Wi-Fi kind of cut out when you were explaining where to find the recordings. Where would I find it again?
It's the credentials. That is in that document I sent you. So the credentials to log in and look for pictures and the like are all in that document.
Oh, I meant like Zoom recordings.
That's in YouTube. That's on the Harvard Public Health Review.
Oh.
If you go to Harvard Public Health Review and you look at the playlist, you know, HBHR board, there's all of the trainings are there.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it just makes it easier than like storing a bunch of recordings because they're really huge.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say for whatever reason, oh, this is our featured image. It's a cat dressed up in a little quinceañera dress. One thing we're going to want to do is, what I do is I just grab the title of the article. I go to replace image. I select the image I want. And then you see how like, it doesn't really have a title or description or anything. I normally just do this. I just paste in the title of the article on each of these. This is going to be different, of course, if you have like a figure or something that's actually going to show with a caption or anything. But this makes it much more meaningful for SEO, which is search engine optimization, and other aspects of, online artifacts associated with your article. With that, you just hit your featured image. And the other thing I just want to point out is I always organize all of these images. So you can see here, we are working, this is the media library. So you see this image here. This should not be out in the media library. When you click on it, right now you can't see. You'll see a notice about where it's published on the website. And I always try to organize everything. So if this picture is associated with volume 33, for instance, I would just drag it to 33. This happens to be associated with volume 27. So I'm going to organize it, put it into there. It just keeps this very, very cleaned up. And otherwise you would have a million pictures and never be able to find anything. So this excerpt piece here is, this is interesting. If you leave it blank, it'll like just populate itself. And this is the excerpt. You can see that for this, I actually wrote excerpts for each of these editions. But for the articles, a lot of times we just let it auto-populate. It'll like grab the first 8 words or so from the article itself, and then that's cool. This, again, we're just checking Elementor full width, and then we can move on to the main event. So it's pretty happy. You can see it's fully updated, and look at our featured image. We're going to go to edit with Elementor from here. And the nice thing about Elementor is it really makes things pretty easy. So you're not working with any code or anything. So the first thing I like to do is just come over here, hit the settings, and every now and again, it'll do something wonky. You see this page layout and you see this weird margin? You don't want that. You just go here, make it Elementor full width so it can't do anything weird. And then you're going to start from top to bottom. If you ever can't get into here, just kind of like float the cursor over this and make sure it's blue. You see here where it says edit header, you could click on that and start editing the header. We don't want to do that, but sometimes it'll lock up here and you just have to float. It'll be yellow and you'll just select edit page. So the first thing, we're going to want to change out that because this is edition 34, right? So we're going to go here to choose image, and we're just going to go to logos. Or no, we're going to go edition. Never mind, sorry. And since this is 34, I may have to go. None. We might have to make it, but we won't include that in this video. But we'll just pretend that 33 is what we want. We're going to grab it. You'll see that it's how it's marked.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to insert it. It's going to get really big. So you'll just make it 150 and then back to 300. And there you go, Bob your uncle, you got your thing. The other thing you're going to do is make sure it's linked to its home page. So I've not made a 34 home page, but let's just pretend 33 is its home page. To get that link, you're just going to click on the page. See how this is all the 33 articles?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to grab that link. We're going to come back. And you're just going to add the link. So it's a custom URL, and you're just going to link it. And then hit update. And then when you make this page live, if someone clicks here, they'll be taken back to the edition 34 page. We're going to pretend this is 34, even though it says 33. Then the next thing you do is you're going to want to change the title. You could technically write in here, right in the docs on the right side. I always recommend working on the left because things can get gnarly pretty fast. So this is new title, and this is going to be title case. So uppercase letters for each of the, just the way you would for any title. So new title of article, prepositions, unless they're 5 letters or longer, don't get capitalized, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is your article list. I mean, your author list. For this section of the article, it says by and then the author's names. In this case, we left in the authors sort of their titles, or not their titles, their degrees afterward. This is probably the only section of the site that's a little loose with that. But in general, so something like that. Then we're going to come down, and this all stays the same. This doesn't get touched at all. This Facebook, Twitter, these are share buttons. And, this allows folks to share it to these different places. And then it allows them to like it directly, kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have our author. We just come in and we're going to replace the authors. So notice, and I'm saying this more for those who are playing at home as well as, not necessarily for you, but this is author last name, first initial. There's no comma between the last name and the first initial. So like last and then first initial. And then the title of the article. And it's like, this is a little different than the way it appears at the top. So it's just title of article with no title case. Then this stays the same, and we make sure that this is associated with the correct edition. So, and obviously we're working in the year. So then it's time to come down, and we've got our citation. So you notice you don't have to create that. And because we've very smartly just replicated an older article, this creates a nice space for work. So we have our 2 dividers here. These are very easy to generate, but why bother? They're right there. We're going to add in our title. Notice I did that on the left and not in the right in this box. If we put it in the box, it can get a little weird, especially if you're copying and pasting from a Word document. or God forbid a PDF, you're going to like bring in a whole slew of fun things that you didn't even know you were bringing in. So let's say you do need to replicate a divider, you would just come here, you would right click on it, and then you would hit duplicate. And then you have another divider. If you need to delete it, you just right click and then delete. Let's say you're farther down into the weeds here and you don't, it would just be weird to duplicate it and drag it. You can easily add a divider. In articles, you can see this is a much more of a blue theme, right? You don't have to do anything to create the blue theme, but here we've added a new divider, but suddenly it's not blue. It's very easy to do. So the content, changing the aspects of the divider is under here, under content. But you want to change the color, you hit style, and style is in the middle. This is kind of, it's very compact, but it's a little weird. You don't have to go to advanced. This is like a motion effect. You can make the divider move around and stuff. We don't want that. So just come over here and you'll see this little thing that looks like a globe. And these are our global colors. And you don't have to do any like hex codes or anything. You're just gonna click on the drop down here and don't click the color, click the drop down, then hit primary. And this is our blue that's in the HBHR. And you'll see suddenly you'll have the right color divider. So we have this abstract here, and this is a good sample article to work with here because it shows that we have our abstract. The abstracts are also bounded like the titles by a divider. It sets them up from the actual article itself. And you can see here that each heading is in title case and is in, blue. The subheadings are a little bit different. So, and just to sort of demonstrate, if you do not have, let's say you needed for some reason to add another header here, and this was not here, you're just going to go in, you're going to drag in the header, and then you're going to change the title. And it defaults to the primary blue because it's the primary color, highlight color for the website. So, but let's say you need a subheader. You'll see that the size of this header is H2. And just a little aside, this is an H1 and it's extra large. Every post has to have an H1 element because it's a sizing thing and it's good for search engine optimization, but we only have one H1 size element on the page. It's kind of weird. This is H2. This is a little smaller. This is an H4. To make it that red color, we're going to come over to the style section up here in the middle. We're going to go back to our globe and we're going to hit the red. And then suddenly you can see it matches. Since we don't need it, we're just going to delete it. This is a text box. Now, one thing you probably notice is none of these are in a text box together. We're not here. We're not doing this. We're not doing this trick. We're not like trying to make this bigger, none of this. It's like, whoa, we're not going to do that because that will make the text is not going to be as secure in its settings, I should say. It's going to float. It might float around. It could get a little weird. It's harder to work with. And it's not as good for search engine optimization. It's not good for the health of the site. So this is a separate element. This is text, just plain text right here. And it's its own little box. And to get that, you just come here. You're going to grab it. You're going to pull it in, and it has like some fake text already in there. And a lot of times you're just going to copy and paste from a Word document, put it in, and Bob Drunkle's right there. We don't need this. We're going to delete it. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, this is 3 elements. And this abstract actually has, you know, separate elements for each of its little sections. So the body of the article is actually fairly easy to lay out, especially if you are just working from an older document, because a lot of the articles that we get, they start with an introduction, you know, and if it doesn't have one, you just erase it. A lot of them have a methods section, and you just copy and paste it in. Now, one thing I want to show you is this. So here's your text section. You paste in your article. You'll probably notice here, suddenly it's just a blob of text. How do you put in the paragraph breaks? You can do it in 1 of 2 ways. We're going to do it the easiest way, which is you're just going to go in here and you're just going to put a return in after the paragraph breaks. You also can go into the back end on the text side and add breaks there, but that is not necessary, and most of the time this works just fine. If you lay this out and you go to another section, you'll see that it retains the paragraph breaks. If you return to a section and you do anything to it, you'll notice that it removes your breaks. At this time, I do not know how to work around that other than to code them in, but that is a little bit much. So you'll see it's just, you just have to re-add it. So you're going to work down, and then I often put tables and figures in its own section at the end of the article before I get to the citations or the references. So, so here we have tables and figures. This is a figure here, and it's actually one that I had to do as a screenshot from the original article. I added it like I did the other images, but you'll see that it is not labeled the way the other article, the way the other images were. You'll notice that this one has the name of the figure as its name in the alt text, the title, the caption, and the description. So you would do the same thing. And then you would hit insert media, and there you would have your table and figure. If you were working with an article that did not already have this image block already set out for you, you would come over here to your tools. And to get to that, you hit what looks like a little phone pad here. And then you would just drag and drop your image into the section. We don't need that, so getting rid of it. Once you add your image, normally you're going to set this to large or to medium large. Since this has a lot of text in the inside the figure, which is not my favorite thing, but this was fairly intricate and it was part of the analysis. Make it a bit larger. You'll see that if we made it any larger, it probably would pixelate. And you'll notice here that there is a caption. This caption is coming from the image. So if you put none, it wouldn't have one. If you did a custom caption, you would have to enter it. What I like to do is grab it directly from that back end. From here, we've already entered our caption. So we're going to select attachment caption, and it's drawing it directly from the back end. For the tables, so This is relatively easy to create. A lot of folks just put tables into the text of their documents that they provide to the journal. And all you have to do is copy and paste it into a text box. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. So pretend that I've just copied article from, a table from an article. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add my text box. And that seems like a little counterintuitive. There is a table and graph tool in Elementor, but for this is like a little bit easier to do. I'm just going to hit Command A, so it selects this weird text. I can get rid of it by deleting it or just paste over it. I'm going to paste in my table. You'll see that it lays out quite nicely. I'm going to go to the top. And if this wasn't bold already, I would make it bold. I would make sure that the title was meaningful. Would scroll through, make sure it's okay. This particular article or table had kind of a little note associated with it. It stays in paragraph text. I like to make it italicized. And you can see that I did the same thing for this table. And you just hit update and you're ready to go. So it's a fairly easy, straightforward process. Then you'll add another divider, and you can see like why replicating the divider, duplicating the divider from the top would be a little weird and like dragging it down. So here's this piece. You probably will want to add it. You might have to make it that global blue. And then it's time to do the references. This article did not have a lot of references, which was nice. Right now, we have like a set sort of way that we're doing references now. It was a little bit different in the past because we didn't publish as often. And we were doing more of a modified APA style, which gave us a little bit more freedom with what people were doing. We're not going to have that anymore. But for now, we have articles that are listed in alphabetical order, references in alphabetical order, and then sometimes we have them numbered. So you will just paste your references in there, and you'll notice that we have to, once again, separate them out the way we did paragraph text from before. And once you're done with that, we'll just move up for now. Then it's time to do the authors. Sometimes you're going to work with a template that doesn't have an about the authors section. And that's something that we need to do for every article that is published. So this is what's called a premium heading. You'll notice that some of the headings at the top also have like this little line. This one is has reverse bold out text, so or knockout text, I should say. To get these premium headings, which are different from the regular headings that we have up here, this is a regular heading. To get premium, we just go to search widget, type in heading, grab premium heading, and drag it in. It defaults to style 1, which is used for the author's names. For this about the authors, we're going to go to style 3. And we're going to select white for the text. And we're going to select primary color for the color for the bar. And then same thing as with others. You just go to content and you can change the thing here. Please note, if there is one author, it should not say about the authors. It should say about the author. That's been an interesting thing I've seen. just enter the name of the author here with their degree. Some folks, Jessica's not a doctor, but some folks like to be called doctor with their degree title. And you can see that I had actual nice biographies for each of our authors here. In general, we want authors to provide us with third-person descriptions of themselves. We have folks who do first person. If it's decently written, that's fine. To get to the author's bio, that is listed, and it's in the document, the working document, but that is listed for now in the author submission form. All authors, when their articles are selected, are asked to provide a bio and some background information. So the ones that have been crossed out have already been added to the site. I think this has been added to the site as well. I don't know why it wasn't crossed out. You can see that the author provides their full name in the submission form, as well as their biography. So here's like Timothy Weichman's biography, and we can add it to the site here. And you can see that it's a pretty decently written one. There's a little bit of formatting issues. We can just easily fix that. If you have a biography where the person wrote, you know, I like to do research, we had someone do that. That was a weird biography. You probably just want to come here, get their name, and say something like Timothy L. Weichman, PhD, is an associate professor at St. Louis University in the Department of Internal Medicine, Division of Infectious Diseases, Allergy, and Immunology. And then there you go. That's much better than some writing and I like research. I don't know why that person wrote that weird sentence. So, you know, you want to get at something where you don't make the author seem odd. Also be sure that, you know, that this is decently written. This one is, Timothy's was very good. But we do have some folks who aren't as adept at writing, you know, in English without a lot of cleaning up. Like for instance, some of the supporting authors on an article might have done the analysis and maybe didn't do a lot of the writing of the article itself. So we just want to make sure that the biographies make sense. Anyway, that was a lot of information there. You are done here with your article. You're going to hit update. And it's going to save. You're going to go to settings. You're going to check this your featured image, and you're going to make sure it's Elementor full width again, and then you can go and look at the page. So here's your layout, such as it is. Looks pretty good. And then what you can do if, you know, so this is not going to show up on the page because we've associated it with edition 34, but let's say you published this in edition 33, you would come here and then you would see it on the page. The other thing you would check is to make sure that your new article went to the edition, that link at the top worked, and you would just make sure that everything was rendered. This sometimes means, you know, even with the best planning, can go a little awry. So that's how we lay out articles. So in that document that I shared with you, that back to that page. If we go back to the working document, you'll see that there's the important links. There's that author information form that I showed you. There is a step-by-step working, flow with screenshots of how to do everything I just showed you to do in here. And then, has all kinds of little tips. And then it has a checklist that basically walks again through how to do everything without the screenshots. And just to make sure that it's okay. It also talks about if you have a video or a sound file. One of the things that we do not want people doing is uploading video or sound to the site itself. Those go on YouTube and they can be linked from YouTube to the site. The chances of you having an article with video in it right now is pretty slim. So that's that. But thank you for putting up with that. That was a really long description.
No, it's great. I love it because I know that humans by default